Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Practically, we continue at the explaining the nervous system. At the nervous system, as general, we know it's divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system with the brain and the spinal cord, while the peripheral with the nerves and ganglion that's located outside the central nervous system. The unit of the nervous system, histologically, we study it, it's a cell, a specific cell called a neuron. And there is many of supplied cells surrounding these neurons that's called neuroglial cells. So we have a neuron and a neuroglial cells. Okay, when we come into the neuron, it's composed many types. The main types, it's called a cell body. Okay, I can draw it to explain it. These are a neuron. Sorry. These are a neuron. Okay. And these are the cell body of this neuron. Okay. And this part is called, so these are the cell body, or called soma. And the long part is called axon. Okay? And the end of it is called dendrites. These are also the dendrites. So, these are the neuron, and we can classify the neuron according to its shape to the unipolar, multipolar, bipolar, and pseudo-unipolar. While when we classify it according to its function, it's composed the motor neuron, sensory neuron, and interneuron, or called intercalated neuron. Okay. And we previously talking about the cells that's supporting these neurons. We called it a neuroglial cells. So we have a 5 type of neuroglial cells. Number 1, it's astrocyte. Astrocytes, it's a metabolic support and supplied to the neuron. Okay? And oligodendrocyte. Schwann cells, ependymal cells, and microglia. The microglia, it's act as the phagocyte macrophage at the nervous system. And when I ask you what is the macrophage or a macrophage at the nervous system named, you told me it's a microglia. Okay. Ependymal cells, the ependymal cells, it's a simple, low-columnar to cuboidal epithelium that's lined the central canal of the spinal cord. It's the oligodendrocyte and the Schwann cells. When we asking or when we talking about the central nervous system, the axon of the neuron, it's covered by a myelin. Okay? Covered by a myelin sheath. And some of neurons, it's not myelinated, so it's called not myelinated neuron or by myelin sheath. So when we're talking about the central nervous system, oligodendrocyte, it's covering or it's released its myelin sheath. While when we're talking about the peripheral nervous system, the myelin sheath is released by a specific cells, it's Schwann cell. okay? And the space between these, or the distance between two myelin sheath, it's called node of Ramberg. Node of Ramberg. Okay. We started with the peripheral nervous system. When we started with the peripheral nervous system, so we can say it's a nerve. Okay. Nerve and ganglia. Nerve and ganglia at the peripheral nervous system. At this slide, we show a section of a nerve. A nerve at the peripheral nervous system is represented a bundles of a nerve fibers. A bundles of a nerve fibers, or called a vesicles. So it's aggregation of axon, okay? Of axon or nerve bundles. Each one of these, or these all, it's called a vesicle or a nerve, bundle of nerve fibers. So each vesicle, or all these vesicles, are surrounded by three main layers of connective tissues. Okay, three main layers from outside to inside. From outside, we started with the epineurium. Epineurium. Okay, the epineurium, it surrounded the all vesicles from outside. Okay, so these are, or these connective tissue, it's the epineurium that's covering the all vesicles of nerve fibers. It's composed from dense irregular collagenous connective tissue with also elastic fibers. It's a thick, okay? And when we coming at the individual vesicle, like this, it's surrounded by the perineurium. Perineurium. So from outside or outermost, it's epineurium. While the surrounded the vesicle is called perineurium. Okay, perineurium. The perineurium is thinner than, okay, it's thinner than the epineurium. Also, it's composed from dense connective tissue. Okay. From the inside or innermost, it's we coming to the endoneurium. Endoneurium. The endoneurium, it's surrounded the individual axon or individual nerve fiber. Okay. So epineurium, perineurium, endoneurium, that surrounded the individual. Okay. This vesicle is aggregation of the axons, and the individual one axon or nerve fibers surrounded by endoneurium. Endoneurium is a loose connective tissue with reticular fibers that is released from Schwann cells. We previously talking at the peripheral nervous system. It's surrounded by Schwann cells. Okay, and this slide show us the transverse section or cross section of the nerve. Okay, as we see, these are a vesicle or a bundle of a nerve fibers or nerve axons, and these are between them adipose tissue and connective tissues. Okay, I can show you a longitudinal section of a nerve. Okay, it's look like a longitudinal section of a nerve axon. Okay, that's surrounded, each axon surrounded by Schwann cells at the peripheral nervous system. Okay. Okay. The second part of the peripheral nervous system is a ganglia. Okay. And when I say a ganglia, I mean it's aggregation of a cell bodies of a neuron located outside the central nervous system. Okay, that is a ganglia. And we have two types of ganglia as in neurons. It's a sensory and motor. The sensory, when I say a sensory, that I mean are the dorsal root ganglia, and the motor, that's including the sympathetic and parasympathetic, or we also name it the autonomic ganglia. Autonomic ganglia. Okay? At this section, as we see, okay, these are the aggregation, okay, these are the aggregation of a neuron or cell bodies of a neuron, okay, this one, all these one, all those are the cell bodies of a neuron at the peripheral nervous system, at a ganglia, that's surrounded also by Schwann cells, okay, and satellite cells that's supporting these cells, okay. Also, we can find the axons or the nerve fibers, okay, at this part, it's a nerve fibers or axons. Another slide to a ganglia. Okay, these are another slide to a ganglia. Also aggregation of a cell. It's a gorgeous slide. It's aggregation of a neuron cell bodies only. Okay, all these are a neuron cell body surrounded by satellite cells and Schwann cells.